Should work. Fix this ear. It's nice today. It's nice. Hello, Shalom, Shalom. First and foremost, I'm going to say, gotta make sure they hear me. Hello, Shalom, Shalom, Shalom. First and foremost, I'm going to say, call on Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rekak Wadash, giving all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, the King of Kings, the Lord of Lords, the God of Gods. Much love to his only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai, whom the world calls Jesus Christ, and other names that don't have power. Much love to the beautiful children of Israel, the elect among them, actually, whoever they may be. Much blessings to them. Much love to the beautiful prophets among the children of Israel, the ones who speak the words true, and they do everything in their power to show Yahweh Hashem Yahushua that they love them and they fear them. I'm not really much of a fan of the camps. I'm just selecting out certain ones that I know and I see that do their part, and they do everything in their power to warn our people of the upcoming dangers and the times that we in. Much love to the beautiful Akwaf, the men of Israel. No, the Akim, the beautiful men of Israel, which is still referring to the prophets and other men, that's part of Israel that, they accept Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, they accept the new covenant, they fear Yahweh Hashem Yahushai with all their heart, and they do whatever in their power to help, highways and byways, videos at home, Bible study, keep you sane and keep you into the word of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. Much love to the beautiful Akwaf, the beautiful women, and it's not a lot of women. And whether you got a man or not, you still fear the law, statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. You listen and you learn in silence. Welcome to my show for those of them that, this damn fly. Oh, why is it always flies over here? They be killing me, yo. Welcome to my show. You can call me Halal Yahweh. I think it means praise Yahweh, or I might end up changing my nickname. But, welcome to my truth show. That's what I call it. And I'm into a lot of Bible study, and I like the truth through the Bible, and I study and I listen to the prophets of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, and, watch updated news and all kinds of things. I'm shutting down my old channel, and I'm moving on to a new channel because the other channel got shadow banned, just too much explicit, language, and, just doing whatever I wanted, just, not really following too many guidelines. So with this, I'm going to clean it all up, still deliver the message properly, and hopefully they don't shut me down. They just allow me to keep, going on with my message in my own way, and whatever, I can always open up another channel. But, for those of them that are coming, that's going to be listening, this is what I'm about. I'm about spreading the word of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, getting people to come in. I believe in the new covenant. Don't care what others have to say about that topic. I don't care. I believe in the new covenant. That's just what it is. There's nothing wrong with that. Personally, it's not nothing wrong with it. And no, I don't do this for money. I do it for free. I'm being taken care of by Yahweh already. For people, that's going to be new, that's going to be listening, when I continue to build this, little platform or whatever, it's not going to be all dazzling. It's not going to be all amazing. This is just, pure message, pure information. Whether I post it through Bible scriptures or I'm out in the streets asking people, whoever may pass by my little spot. I'm on the corner right here. And this is for the true children of Israel. We all know that the Negroes, Mexicans, and the Indians are the true children of Israel. They fit all the curses that the Israelites broke in the Bible, especially if you look into Deuteronomy. And they are Yahweh's chosen people. For other people that don't like that, you don't have to listen. I really don't care, because the message isn't for you, it's actually for them. And just pushing forward, and that and knowing that, because there's too many signs and too much proof that really identifies them as the true children of Israel, and all the stuff that's happening today, and all the things that are about to happen, all these terrible things, the beginning of sorrows, all that stuff is going down. It's about to happen, and they fit the description. They are the main targets because they are the ones that help build, because we all know America is Babylon. They help build this place. They help create this place. They are this place. And, the enemy right now is coming to an end. He's at his end. He don't have too much long to do whatever he needs to do, or to try and to try and reset everything. He don't have much time to do that. We all know that the enemy is the white man, who we know to be the devil according to the Bible. Satan, or the devil meaning, they can mean adversary, or Satan. I think Satan mean adversary, or just an enemy against Yahweh Shem Yahushai. He is the enemy, the old enemy of the children of Israel, and the one who's destroying the world and upsetting the balance, starting all the wars, controlling all the money, hurting and killing people, terrorizing people, demonstrations of power among the people, threatening them, oppressing them, and continuing to oppress the Israelites and making their environment worse, hurting them, but all this is prophecies according to the Bible, that all of this would happen to the children of Israel before they get that blessing, which is happening actually now. We in the transition of the kingdom. It says, for riches gotten by deceit, the kingdom of heaven is translated from one people to another. So right now, all of this and all of this rulership is coming into the hands of the children of Israel once again. And they are about to claim back the earth. They're about to claim back the power. And it's going to be like that forever. So for right now, we just living in those times to where the transition of power is so extreme, to the point to where the enemy is doing everything in his power to not allow that to happen, or to postpone it, because it's the will of Yahweh Shem Yahushai that we receive it. So he's doing everything in his power to postpone it, to prevent it, and to try to keep it from happening faster. I have to give it a second. That shit's so loud. This is irritating. But try to prolong it. Try to prolong his rulership. But with all that being said, this is the Bible study that I'm into. For people that want to know it's going to be like this, you can always come to my channel and listen. I'll be building on this brand new channel, and I'll be putting everything on this channel. And, people can come and listen if they want to, because mainly it's like more like a voice commentary, for you to listen. You don't have to sit there and watch my face all day, every day, and and be bugged by me, because I'm going to continuously show my face, and I'm going to, tell the truth, because it's a lot of our people that need to hear it. They don't hear it every day, and whether they believe it or not, that's their choice. How you doing? You're a child of Israel according to the Bible? Okay. But like I was saying, is whether they want to hear it or not, it's there. I don't really force them. Sometimes people pass by. You give them the word. Like I just did just now, try to get them to come in. 9 times out of 10, we living in them times to where what it say? For iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall grow wax cold. So, more and more, a lot of our people could care less about, the word of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, the word of our Lord, the true name, like she just said just now. She said she believed that she's Israelite, but she worshiped Jesus Christ, and we all know Jesus Christ is the false counterpart of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, because we all know the book actually takes place in Africa. A lot of this stuff takes place in Africa. So the God that they worship is actually a dark-skinned being like the rest of us. But due to colonialism, due to Stockholm Syndrome, slavery, whatnot, it's a lot of our, I call them old generations, that actually believe that they believe in white supremacy. That's what they believe in. They believe, that God is God. He doesn't have a name, and um, um, the word is powerful. Like, your words are powerful. Sometimes you can speak things into being. Sometimes saying things can make things happen. So when it comes to like prayer and stuff, you got to be very careful on what you invoke or what you call upon. And for the Hebrew Israelites, they are very specific on who they call upon. You got to be specific who you call upon, because you can't just say, oh, if a person came and asked you what God you worship, you can't just say, I worship God, because you're giving the power to the name, but that's opening the door to anything, for you to worship anything, for you to worship anyone. Anybody can take your prayer, because the Lord made the world physical and spiritual. So you got a lot of physical people that you see, and then you got the spiritual people, or the spiritual beings that you can't see. So there's no telling when you pray at night, and this is extremely important, when you pray at night, who you call upon, and who answers your prayer. You got to be careful. And if you invoke that, oh God, Lord Jesus Christ, then you invoking the spirit of the white man, and he taking your prayer and he's doing nothing with it, because he's not God. He's not the chosen. He's not the Christ that you sought after. You actually calling upon white supremacy to bless you, to allow you to be safe when you go to sleep, that kind of thing. So, it was really important for the prophets, to find out the true name of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, and the Paleo Hebrew, his son Yahushai, and to invoke that name, and to call upon the true name of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, the true power for protection, the true power for what, your daily bread, the true power for that. My prayer is, all praises go to Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem HaKakodash. I come before you in the name of Yahushai, our Father, who art in heaven. Hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Please give us this day our daily bread. Please help us learn how to forgive our debts as we forgive our debtors. Please do not lead us to temptation, but keep us safe from the wicked one. To you the kingdom, the power, the glory forever and ever. Amen. And amen means let it be so. Now that is an actual Bible scripture. I think it's in the book of Matthew. That's an actual prayer that Yahushua had referred to them to pray to. And of course, there's many prayers that are in the Bible that you can use, but you got to know the name of who you worshiping. You can't just be like, oh, praise God, or go to white supremacy and be like, praise Jesus, because in terms of the God that the white man worship is the gold, the oil, and the drugs. So in turn, we don't call Yahweh God. We know he God, but we call him by his actual name. That way we will be safe, and we know that we praying to the actual power rather than praying to other foreign powers or other foreign spirits that can do nothing for your prayers, or can hear you and bless you, and then this blessing coming like a terrible price, or something happened to you because you ain't got the spirit of protection upon you. So it's very important who you pray to. That's very important. Like that lady said, she worshiped Jesus Christ. She don't care about Hebrew Islamism. These are people that we living in them times to where the Bible says high time to wake up out of sleep. So this sleep that's on our people is this sleep that's on our people is the lies, is the white supremacy. It's the worship, the false worship. Like it says in the Bible, it says, I do not dwell in a temple made by men's hands. So they would, build a house, and they don't even know the Lord. And they would be like, oh, this is the house of God. Go up in here, praise, worship. Next thing you know, white man coming up in there. Actually, no. As long as they are in the blind, they can continue to do this. That's why they give them tax-free breaks with these pastors and all that, because their job is actually to blind our people and stop them, put a stumbling block before them to stop them from getting into the truth. White man come in and he confused everything. He blind everything. He covers everything. Like it says, the earth was given into the hands of the wicked, who covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is this person? So it's not talking about some fallen angel. It's talking about a man, and for you to know, for you to know something like that, and for the Bible to say something like that, we all know who he's talking about. But, their job is to hide the truth from us, hide the truth from us. Don't tell us the truth. Keep us asleep, keep us asleep, keep us asleep. So with that being said, and trying to keep us in this slumber, it's a lot of our people that have not woken up to the truth. Right now, we're in them times to where people are waking up, but like for the rest of these, these 2/3 that's out here, and these non-believers and these people that don't listen, they don't believe in the truth. Like a person could say they believe in the truth and they'd be like, oh, praise Jesus Christ. That person is still asleep. He don't know what's going on. He don't seem to care. These the people that's completely under the spell of America, aka Babylon the Great. So aka left leg, no, the second term of the Roman Empire revived. So it's like living in those times, but in modern times. But we no longer under the total grip of slavery. Like, we got some leniency from Yahweh, and he let us go from that total grip of slavery. But we still here in the land of our captivity. To a degree, we still a part of the system. We still slaves. So you break this proper breakdown to a regular person that don't study and don't know, and they're going to instantly reject it. That's exactly what they're going to do. And they're going to instantly deny it. And even a lot of people, they come across it and they disrespect it. A lot of people denounce it, a lot of our own people, and they don't have the proper studies, or some of them just didn't read the Bible. They just don't read. That's all you got to do at a point in time like this. You got to read, and a lot of our people don't, they don't want to understand. Hold on. Hey, how you doing? You're a child of God according to the Bible? You're a child of Israel according to the Bible? I mean, that's just a blessing for you. I'm not trying to stop your day. Enjoy your day. But we just do the best that we can to get them to wake up to what's going on in the world. Right now, pretty up to date. We're gonna go up to date, gonna go hard on it. Right now you got Donald Trump wanting to enact martial law. He wants to shut the entire country down. I'm surprised that he hasn't by now. I'm surprised that hasn't happened by now. But he probably got to go through certain things and certain rights and certain approvals for something like that to happen, or for them to be provoked, like for them to show, proof that there's a threat inside of America, and that this place needs to be locked down so they can take care of whatever they need to take care of, because that's what it said in the Bible, in the book of Revelation, that martial law would be enacted, But, one proof that it is taking place is that they potentially got National Guard coming out, trying to take over these 50 states. Right now, they're in Chicago. Right now, the military is on foot in Washington, D.C. But at the same time, they can't be really taken seriously because they're not going against the full threat or whatever they feel like is threatening them. So with that being said, the real threat that they're going after is our people. Our people that live in the ghettos. We live in the trenches, we live in the slums. You know why? Yet again, because they are the true children of Israel. They are the chosen people of Yahweh. So right now, this white man is on his last attempt to secure that power forever, even though that's never going to happen. But in his mind, the Lord got it to where he's determined to do something like this. But, little do he know, he just used to punish those that don't believe. So right now, the ones that don't believe, this is what's going to happen to them. Martial law going to get enacted, and they're going to go on a full assault among the children of Israel and everybody else. It's going to be a total lockdown, but mainly them, to get them out of the way, because they next in rulership. When the white man falls, give it like what? If the white people did nothing and they didn't attack, and this collapse continues to be fully successful in less than like 50, 40 years, it ain't going to be no white men in power. It's not going to be no regime. It's not going to be no white government regime. It's going to be black people, the Negroes, Mexicans, the Indians, the children of Israel taking everything over. But, he's not going to give that up without a fight. But, this is what's going on. These are the facts and this is exactly what's happening. So it says, it says in the days of Noah, like it's in the day of Noah, when Noah entered the ark, the people were still eating and drinking and being married and being given into marriage, and they knew it not until the flood came and took them away. So it's the same for right now, that the times that we in right now. So a lot of people, they don't believe it, you know, and it's getting to the point to where a lot of the stuff that Yahweh is talking about is manifesting into reality. So a lot of the stuff that's manifesting into reality through the Bible is coming true. So, you know, right now it's getting to the point to where you can see a lot of the stuff that's going on in the world, and it's all according to the Bible scripture, but they don't believe it. Like Noah in his time, I do believe he preached the end of the world for like 400 years, and they didn't believe it until it started like really raining. When the rain really hit, and that shit really hit hard, and it wouldn't stop raining, then they believed. They tried to enter the ark, but in the story, Yahweh Shem Yahushai closed the ark so that people wouldn't enter, and this worldly deluge had came and consumed everything. You know, even broke the continents up, because according to, you know, the story, if I'm correct, according to the story, it used to be a Pangea, called Pangea, meaning that all continents in one. All of them was one big supercontinent. So, in this story, I do believe that the deluge was so powerful, it broke all of the continents up, separating the people, you know, creating the nations and all of that. Even those nations back then, I'm just saying, today, you know, and the people didn't listen until that happened. So now the flood is in a different way. Like the flood is different now. Like instead of a flood of water, it's gonna be a flood of people, you know. So it's gonna be a flood of people, and then a flood of fire. That's the new thing that's going on. So when these people start coming, and they gonna think that, you know, if martial law lock it down and they let the troops come out and they lock everything down, curfews and all of that, you know, it's gonna really bother things. It's gonna really disrupt the order that's already set place, because they want to toss out the old order and then order in the new order. You know, this is the plans of the white man. So they want to be able to destroy everything and to reset it, order out of chaos. So if they do that, they'll be disrupting jobs. They will be disrupting people's livelihoods. You can't drive around unless you're going through checkpoints. You got people coming into your house talking about you did this, you did that, criminalizing people, you know, pulling people out their homes, taking them, separating from their children. It's a lot of this stuff that's about to take place, and it's so close to the point to where you can see it happening. You can see it in play, but our people, they just don't listen, you know? They just don't listen. Scorners delight in their scorning, and fools that hate knowledge. That's in the book of Proverbs. Book of Proverbs, I do believe, chapter 1, verse 2. And these people, they don't delight in Yahweh Shem Yahushai like they say they do. They don't. They don't care about that. All they care about is ultimately themselves and being a slave to this system, being blind. And with that blindness is going to be a problem for them, because when they call on Yahweh Shem Yahushai, he's not going to answer them. You know, when they seek him, they're not going to find him. And it's going to be a problem for them, because a lot of them, they don't even believe in the Lord's name. So, you know, with that being said, they don't have no power to protect them, you know. And they've been calling on the wrong power. So the Lord, in the Bible, he says, it was this story in the Bible to where I think it was like 12 women or I don't know. But like it was like a group of women going to go see the king. And these women, half the women had brought extra oil for their lamps. Half the women had brought extra oil for their lamps. And then the other half of the women had brought oil just enough. So when they was going to go meet the king, and the women who brought extra oil in their lamps, they kept their lamps lit. And the women that didn't bring the extra oil in their lamps, they fire went out, and they wanted to borrow some of that oil from the women that had it, but the woman was like, we only got enough for ourselves. You got to go back and get your own. So the other half of the women that went to go meet the king, they went and met the king successfully, and the king closed his doors. And when the other half of the women came that went back home to get extra oil, the king said, I do not know you, turn away. So that's what's going to happen to the rest of our people that try to come in the end game, at the end point when the doors are closed spiritually, because it's not going to be nobody outside trying to invite you in, no prophets or people to help like me that's on the highways and byways trying to get you to compel you to come in or to tell you who you are or to try and wake you up, and it ain't gonna be none of that. And that's exactly what our people is gonna be looking for at the last minute. You guys, a wicked person when they when things go bad for them and it finally hit to the point to where they finally ask for help at the last minute after all their pride, after all this all their wickedness, after them denouncing God and refusing Yahweh Shem Yahshua's help. Then they want to ask for help. Then they want to ask for forgiveness. Then they want to ask for a change. Right on the brink, right when death is about to hit them, right when the Lord drop the hammer and be like, let it be so, whatever is going on, let this person get what they just do. That's exactly when the timing is going to happen, when our people is going to be screaming and yelling to Yahweh Hashem Yahushua for help, but it's going to be too late. So this is one thing that our people don't understand. Yahweh Hashem Yahushua exists. His son exists. He got on his right hand, he got Yahushua, and he got the right angels, and then on his left hand he got Satan, and then he got he got Yahushua on his right hand with the right angels, and you got Satan on his left hand with the left angels. The Satan on his left hand, he do all the bad things in the world. He create the chaos. He create the judgments. Whatever wicked judgment the Lord want, he go out and go do it. Him and his angels. That's his job. He's not necessarily like an evil being, an evil malevolent being that want to go against the world and go against Yahweh Shem Shai. It don't work like that. There's an order to all of this. These angels already have divine power. They've already got power over the cosmos. They run everything. They rule everything. So the devil, Lucifer actually is the one that's doing his job. It's nothing more than that. It ain't no rebellion going on. It ain't no fallen angels that's hiding underground. Over 200 angels fell, and they about to fly up out the ground to do the last battle with the Messiah. No, it don't work like that. That's not going to happen. And you got to understand, there's a judgment that takes place. There's a judgment. Yahweh Hashem Yahushai is the judge, and he got all the spirits and manner, whether they be good or evil, that he created, and the angels as well, in this place of judgment. When it's time to be judged, he call a congregation. He asks for advice. He got some angels will probably stick up for you. Some angels will go against you. Some spirits can testify, before you. Some spirits can testify against you, and you got people up there too, that probably vouch for you or be like, oh no, this person is good, or despite him not believing, he still was a good person. No, people stand up and object. This is real. This is actually a real thing that Yahweh Hashem Yahushai do. And our people need to understand that y'all are, if you don't get into the covenant, the new covenant to protect you, and a new covenant absolves you of all your sins, you get into the new covenant, meaning that Yahushua, which is the Messiah that died for us, he protects us, and he covered us with his blood, so that way when the judgment come, Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua can pass over us rather than pass through us per se, and a lot of our people are not going to have that cover of protection over them, that you need that protection. So when these times come, you could be protected, but they not. And a lot of our people is going to be destroyed right along with the wicked, because the Lord is not going to recognize them as his people. He's not going to recognize them. And that's what's going to happen to a lot of these 2/3. And they can be good people and they are bad people. But the whole point is that you didn't come into the new covenant. You didn't ask for forgiveness. You didn't call upon my name. I don't know who you are. So since I don't know who you are, I'm going to assume that you with the rest of the world, that you with this, white man in the regime, that you worship another God. You worship another spirit. And all these spirits and all these gods that they worship, they actually are not the gods that that the pantheon, or the gods that they created, the many gods, they actually don't exist. They don't have no power. And behind these gods are these evil spirits. These evil spirits, and their job is to deceive you and to get you into worshiping something other than Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Like that world, this wicked world, is very real, to give you a different knowledge rather than the knowledge that you need to progress. It's going to actually stop you in your tracks. So when you understand, stuff like this, and because the Bible give you the power to discern from the physical and the spiritual. The Bible is a double-edged sword, 2 and 2, the physical and the spiritual. So you'll be able to see things that you see, and then the things that you can't see, you can still see. You know that they're there because you have that knowledge. So with that power, the Yahweh Shem Yahushai is giving us this low-level spiritual power to understand these things. But for the rest of our people, them the ones that's going to get they just due, they are going to get the judgment, and they not even knowing they in the midst of judgment. That's the bad thing. So it's like Yahweh Shem Yahushai said, be careful for you attend angels unawares. So how you doing, brother? You're Israelite according to the Bible? See? So it says be careful in the Bible for you attend angels unawares. So you got to be careful what you do, because you always being watched. You got to be careful what moves you make, what choices you make, because you are being watched. You're being accounted for the things that you do. Like per se, like if a homeless person just needs some food to eat, or he needs something to drink, and you happen to pass by him, and he specifically asks you, he asks you for help. He asks you for, a couple of dollars, and, you being a good person, you like, oh, okay, well, here, here's $5, here's $10, go get you something to eat, out of the kindness of your heart, just to look out for people that's less fortunate than you. Because in this world, everybody got a place. Everybody got a place, especially that go back to judgment too. It goes back to judgment too. Everybody has their place in the world. Everybody has a judgment that they got to be judged for, and they have to live out that judgment. So per se, like if you were born a blind person for something that you've done, I believe in past lives. The Bible does refer to past lives. If you were born blind and you were born with no eyesight, that means that you done did something very bad in your past life, and you paying for it in this life. Lord took away your eyes, and that judgment, if the Lord be like, oh, let Yahweh be like, let him be blind for the rest of his next life, that he may not see the world, that's what's going to happen to you. You're going to be born blind, or you're going to go blind at a certain point in time in your life, and you're not going to be able to see the world. You're not going to be able to see anything, and you will live that out. I mean, nowadays technology is so advanced to the point to where if you have the money to do it, you could get your eyesight back. But not too many people have that kind of money. Not too many people got that kind of privilege. So, for those of us that's the children of Israel, that was our whole purpose, is to live out our punishment, live out what we did in whatever manner the Lord chooses to punish us. So a lot of our people usually slander Yahweh, go against him, be like, oh, if the Lord loved us, then why did he put us in slavery? It's because you went against him. You betrayed Yahweh Shem Yahushai. That's why he put you in slavery. That's why he put you in slavery. It makes perfect sense. That's why he did what he did to you. Because you got to understand how bad we went off. And then to this day, we still doing the same thing. But the Lord had been lenient to us, and we're supposed to acknowledge that and go back to him, but we don't. So it's a lot of, and that's why a lot of stuff is going to come down on the children of Israel, is because they refuse to go back to the Lord. It's like saying you love the world more than you love the Creator, and that's disrespect. It's a lot of disrespect. But them judgments, the judgments are they really no joke. It's not no joke. Like what's another example? You was a serial killer in your time of living, and in your past life, and you happen to cut somebody's legs off, and they lame, and cut them off, and happen to off them, and they pass away. So now in this life, when you're born, in this life, you don't have no legs, you know? You born without legs, or your legs got a deficiency to where you can't walk. So with this being said, you are lame for the rest of your life. You never know the ability to use your feet or to walk. You'll always be in a wheelchair. People can take advantage of you, all that. And yet again to say, everybody has a place in the world. So the homeless person that you pass by in the street, you know, the homeless person that you pass by in the street that was asking you for something, you know, he might have happened to been there for his judgment. He happened to been there for something that he done did, whether in this life or in the past life. Most likely in this past life. That's how Yahweh do business. You know, but sometimes sometimes these people, they don't be ordinary people. You know, some of these people that's among the children of Israel be angels, and they be looking and watching and determining who's good and determining who's bad, and determine who know the truth and who don't, who's trying to help Yahweh about Shem Yahushua and who not, and they be watching, you know. And they can easily go back up to Yahweh about Shem Yahushua and be like, nah, this person ain't a good person. I feel like you should condemn him. I feel like you should put him to death for all the things that he done did. I'm not really feeling this guy. This guy keep doing certain things. He don't want to change. You know, he ignored the people on the street trying to warn him, the prophets on the street trying to warn him, people that's trying to help you and try to steer in a good path. He ignores them. So I feel like you should condemn him. He should be judged in a bad way. And that's how it works. You got to be able to keep your mind open. You know, have a 360 degrees of wisdom, like Yahweh say. King, my boy King Howard Maccabees, he say that all the time. Like, have a 360 degrees of wisdom. Do the best you can to know things, to know all things. You know, always keep your eyes open. Always watch. You know, how y'all doing? Y'all know y'all the children of Israel according to the Bible? Oh, okay. Have a good day. And it, you know, have a 360 degrees of wisdom. Be able to know everything. You know, be able to know all things, you know, well, to the best of your ability, because I'm not that smart, you know, but I know, you know, the Bible, and I know Yahweh Shem Yahushai, and I know him to the best of my abilities. And sometimes that's all you need to know. You don't have to be the brightest person in the room. You know, that's all you need to know. So we can get a couple of the Bible scriptures, you know, after a long introduction, because I'm trying to rebuild the channel, but I'm going to do it the right way. I'm not going to be cursing and flipping out and getting angry. I'm just going to do what I got to do and leave. Whether people listen or not, that's up to them. I'm not really worried. You know, as long as it's out there, as long as it's available for people to see, you know, besides me getting shadow banned or something like that, you know, I'm just, you know, just keep trying. That's the whole goal. Keep trying. Don't give up, you know. Don't give up. It's people out there listening. Yahweh's out there, you know, watching. He see you try to do the best that you can. You know, try to do the best you can. Let them know. It ain't that big of a deal. I'm not pushing the truth on nobody. I'm not making them listen. I'm not out here with groups of people, you know, like certain prophets and them just cussing people out, yelling at them, cursing. You know, I'm just here to tell you. And whether you want to listen or you want to listen to what I got to say, that's fine. If you don't, I'm not about to stop you. This is a good one. I just turned to it. This is Isaiah 47, verse 1. Even though I've been spitting some Bible scriptures, but this one's a good one. This is what's happening, and this is what's happening to the white man, and this is what's happening to our people. Our people are rising up. They're starting to know the word. There's a lot of them that study the word. There's a lot of them that know what's going on. You know, it's a lot of them that's starting to wake up to the truth. You know, a lot of them. It says, "Come down." This is Isaiah 41, verse 1. It says, "Come down and sit in the dust, O daughter, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Sit on the ground. There is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate." So they're going broke. They falling out of power. They falling out of rule. So when Yahweh Shem Yahushai referred to the nation, he referred to the nations as daughters, you know. That's what he referred to them as. So when he's talking about daughters in a certain kind of way, he could be referring to a woman or a woman of a child, or he could refer to a entire nation, you know. Hello, how y'all doing? Didn't even get a chance to get it out, but It says, take the millstones and grind. It says, uncover thy locks, make bare the leg, uncover the thigh, pass over the rivers. It says, thy nakedness shall be uncovered, yeah, thy shame shall be seen. I will take vengeance, and I will not meet thee as a man. So that's Yahweh Shem Yahushai, sending his son, and his son is going to come in his God form, and he's going to destroy the power that's over us. This power that's been terrorizing us and oppressing us, for centuries. He's going to come and move them out of power. And they consider themselves as a power. So in Yahweh's eyes, he's going to treat them like a power, even though these are just men. So it's going to be an extremely bloody, unfair, fight, but it's going to be necessary. It's going to be needed. And this is all to put this wickedness or this man or these people in a place. So it says, as for our Redeemer, Yahweh is his name. It says, the Holy One of Israel, sit thou silent and get thee into darkness, O daughter of Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called the Lady of Kingdoms. So he's referring to America. That's who he's referring to, which is the queen of the kingdoms right now. Well, not anymore. Like, they really falling out of power right now. You got the white people that's afraid of what's happening right now, and they so afraid of the martial law. They so afraid of the hyperinflation. They are and at the same time, they no longer seeing a future in America. College degrees and high school degrees don't mean nothing. The max they can give you is a regular job. We call them dead end jobs. You get you a dead end job, but you'll never be able to get a house. You'll never be able to afford a family with these kind of jobs. And a lot of these white people that understand this, they know that they will never be able to live out what they want to live out in America. So right now, I'm just watching a whole bunch of videos of these guys leaving America. A lot of them are saving up money to go to other nations, to go to other places in the world to live because it's much cheaper. They no longer see America as the salvation that they once saw them as. But at the same time, when you understand the story, that's their fault. They did that. It ain't got nothing to do with us. How you doing, brother? How you doing? You're a child of Israel according to the Bible? But they know what they did. They know what they did. So, when you understand what all the damage that they've done and all the stuff that they did, they can't stand to see their own decline. Meanwhile, you got the children of Israel, they don't really have a care in the world. And I'm talking about everybody as a whole. They don't really have a care in the world. They can care less about what these governments are trying to do. They can care less about what's going on and the calamities and the collapse of the white America. It's all falling apart for them. And, the children of Israel, they don't care. Why? Because it was at a point in time to where everything collapsed for us. And we didn't have anything. We didn't have no money. We didn't have no privilege. All we did was work. We was getting punished constantly. So these people come from literally nothing. So for you to take everything away from them, for them to have nothing, they be like, it's cool. We'll find a way. It's not that big of a deal. But for the white people to end up in the same state as the children of Israel, it's a problem. The world needs to stop. Everybody needs to hear their cries. These people don't understand the real world. This is the real world that you've been living in, especially for a lot of them that's been asleep. You got a lot of these white folks that's been asleep too. They ain't woke up to the truth. They're not waking up to anybody, to anything that's going on. But now reality is hitting them like a ton of bricks. And they realizing that they are turning into the minority. They are turning into the minority. They're going broke. The government is abandoning them. Everything is getting stricter. Everything is getting more expensive. They want to put the military on the ground for more control. The dollar is no more. They're going broke. So with them going broke like this, with these people going broke like this, they do not like it, bro. They do not want to see it. They don't even acknowledge that it's happening. They just like they're trying to pretend like it's not, but the gravity of it keep getting worse. How you doing? It keeps getting worse. So with that being said, they are trying to escape their judgment, but it ain't no escape, no matter where you go. So, and then this is one of the proofs, because the Bible do speak about the collapse of this society. Everything is collapsing. everything, they rulership is coming to an end. The Bible does speak about that. It says, sit thou silent and get thee into darkness. So it says, as for our Redeemer, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai is his name, the Holy One of Israel. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai is the Holy One of Israel. He's the one that's casting these judgments, plagues, and all sorts of manners of other things upon these people. So it says, and get thee into darkness. It's day turn. So the Israelites is coming out of the fire. They're going into it. So it's like, the old daughter of Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called the Lady of Kingdoms. I was wroth with my people. I have polluted my inheritance and given them into thine hand. Thou didst show them no mercy. No. We still getting our butts kicked right now. It says, upon the ancient hast thou very heavily laid thy yoke. So that yoke is talking about that slavery. It says, and thou saidest, I shall be a lady forever, so that thou didst not lay these things to thy heart. It says, neither didst remember the latter end of it. They didn't care. They didn't give it a thought until it was them. So that's another proof. That's another time that we living in, that this collapse. They didn't care about that 10, 12 years ago or 20 years ago. They didn't care as long as it wasn't them. But now that the roles are reversing and they are getting hit and it's them, now they want to take it to heart. Now they want to worry about it. Now they want to panic. And they've been warned time and time again that this would happen to them all the time. The prophet's been warning everybody for years, man. Years. Don't nobody want to listen. But more and more the prophecies are manifesting themselves, the more and more extreme it's becoming, and it's starting to scare people, It says, therefore, hear now this, that thou art given into pleasures. You're right, white people lived in pleasure. That dwellest carelessly, that saith in thy heart, I am, and none else beside me. So, a lot of these white people wish that they can go back to the early 2000s, like 2009, 2001, 1990s, to where they had the benefits, even though back then they was already being groomed into the process of them destroying their own benefits by going against, the Israelites. They was going against them. And when the Israelites was voting to help everybody, they was going against them to take away their privileges and to take away their own. So, it's been in the making, but now we in 2025, prior to 2030, this shit is setting in. Oh, sorry. I don't want to start cussing. This is setting in. So it says, this is what Yahweh got to say. When people start reading the Bible, they're going to be like, wow, this book is spot on. It's spot on. And they'll be like, oh, it's made by a bunch of men. Oh, it's not. It's a fake book. It was made by the government. It don't matter. At the end of the day, the Bible still, it do matter. I believe that it's made through Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. I do believe it. But at the end of the day, this is what the book is saying, and it's the truth. So let me take it back. It do matter. But I'm just saying, at the end of the day, what the book is saying is true. If you want to know what's about to happen to you, or you want to know how to avoid all of this, you need to read it. So it says, therefore, now hear this, that thou art given to pleasures, that dwellest carelessly, that saith in thy heart, I am, and no one else besides me. I shall not sit as a widow, neither shall I know the loss of children. But these two things shall come to thee in one day, the loss of children and widowhood. That's war. So it says, they shall come upon thee in their perfection, for the multitude of thy sorceries, and for great abundance in thy enchantments. So the Lord knows that, because there's a lot of witchcraft going on, man. It's a lot of that going on. It's a lot of sacrifice going on. It's a lot of them summoning evil spirits or spirits in that manner. It's a lot of them hurting and killing people. And they do this so they can have wealth. They do this so they can stay rich. They do this so they can live longer. They can stay in power. But according to witchcraft, what you give out, you give out double. You gonna get back in triple. Like, so what you give out. It hits you harder. So I don't really know too well about. It's a saying in witchcraft. Like, you cast a spell, it's double, it come back to you triple or tenfold or whatever. But they don't understand that that's what's going to happen to them. When it's all said and done, what you gave out, you're going to get 10 times harder. it's going to be even worse for you. So by them doing all of this, and by them shedding blood, all of these strange rumors, it's all true. It's all real. People hurting and killing people to be famous, doing whatever they can, and their desires to stay in this power, to stay in authority. You don't understand what they're doing around the clock. It sucks to be an evil person, because being evil take hard work. It take hard work to be an evil person, or to do wickedness. It's not an easy thing to do, even though it come with them benefits. You got to be a certain person without no morality. You got to be a person with no mercy. You got to be a person that's just in complete wickedness to do the things that these people are doing. But, like the Lord said, it's going to come back on you. It's going to come back on you. So it says, for thou hast trusted in thy wickedness. Thou hast said, none seeth me. Thy wisdom and thy knowledge, it hath perverted you. And thou hast said in thy heart, I am, and no one else is beside me. That's right. Nobody's going to stop me. I'll be able to do whatever I want. It says, I am the only one. I am the ruler. It says, therefore shall evil come upon thee, and thou shalt not know from whence it riseth. And mischief shall fall upon thee, that thou shalt not be able to put off. And desolation shall come upon thee suddenly, when thou shalt not know. So the chaos and the destruction is going to be so powerful, it's going to bewilder them. They're going to be so in their delusion. They're going to be like, man, how did we even get here? Why is this even happening to me? Why am I even here? Like, that's how heavy the judgment is going to come down. So it says, for thou trusted in thy wickedness. No, it says, stand now with thine enchantments, and with thy multitude of thy sorceries, wherein thou hast labored from thy youth. If so, be thou be able to profit. If so, thy be able to prevail, even though that's not going to happen. Because all wickedness come through the hand of Yahweh too. So he going to cut that off. You're not going to have no sorcery. Ain't no demon going to come save you. Ain't no time portal. Ain't no time portal or no portal going to open so you could jump to the next planet. Ain't no escape. It's not going to be that. You're not going to be able to use any of that. None of it is going to be at your disposal anymore. So, they're going to have a problem. They're not going to be able to, and none of it is working right now as we speak. So all of this is about to stop working. So it says, thou art weary in the multitude of thy counsels. Let now the astrologers, the stargazers, the monthly procrastinators stand up and save thee from the things that shall come upon you. It says, behold, they shall be as stubble. The fire shall burn them. They shall not deliver themselves from the power of the flame. There shall not be a coal to warm, nor a fire to sit before it. It's an explosion that you're talking about. You're talking about that nuclear day. It says, there shall be unto thee with thy whom thou hast labored, even the merchants from thy youth. They shall wander everyone to his quarter. None shall save thee. That's right. Wherever you run, the Lord gonna get you. It's that simple. Hear ye, O house of Israel. He's talking to the Negroes, Mexicans, the Indians. Confusion of face as well. Because you got a lot of brothers that's mingling with other nations. So you got a lot of these children that are Israelites too. And they could be white, they could be black, they could be orange, but they're Israelites. So it says, and are come forth out of the waters of Judah. That's right. That's what he's saying. Hear ye this, O house of Jacob, which are called by the name of Israel, and come forth out of the waters of Judah. It says, which were, and he's actually talking about the chosen when he says that. The waters represent the people of Judah, because not everybody is going to believe or hear the message. They're not going to want to hear it. So the house of Jacob, he's talking about the elect, and then the waters of Judah, the peoples of Judah, come out of them, which swear by the name of Yahweh and make mention of Yahweh of Israel, but not in truth, nor in righteousness. So they're calling him by the wrong name. They don't study. They still in their wickedness, and they not in the new covenant. They're not protected. So with that, these people, the Lord don't want them. He's like, oh, you don't want to do what I tell you to do? Oh, you don't want to fall in line like everybody else? And I don't need you. I want the ones that's calling upon me. I want the ones that desire me. I want the ones that's doing whatever they can in their power to push forward. I want them. I don't need you, So it says, I have declared former things. It says, for they call themselves of the holy city and stay upon themselves Yahweh of Israel. The host that the Lord of armies is his name. I've declared former things from the beginning, and they went forth out of my mouth, and I showed them, and I did them suddenly, and they came to pass. So it's a lot of stuff that's happening. The fall of the dollar, or the potential race wars that's brewing up, civil war that's coming, the nations coming against America, World War III, the street prophets, people that's been preaching this for years, the collapse of America, the economy that's being destroyed. All this has been preached, and all of it happened. So you can't say that Yahweh Shem Yahushua don't exist if this was happening, it's happening in your face. This is happening. So, what more proof do you need? What more? It says, because I knew thou art obstinate. It says, and thy neck is as iron sinew, and thy brow is brass, meaning that they hard-headed. They don't want to listen. They don't care about what Yahweh Hashem Yahushua got to say. They don't care about anything that the Lord got to say. That, like he said, they eyebrow is brass, their neck is iron. They don't care. They don't. So the only thing that's going to make them care is war. It's war, pestilence, famine, chaos. That's the only thing that they going to recognize, and that's exactly what's going to happen to them. So they going to get they just dues. It's coming. It's just taking some time, but it's happening for sure. So it says, I have even from the beginning declared it to thee before it came to pass. I showed you, lest you should say, mine idol have done them. So this is Isaiah chapter 48, verse 4. Verse 5. It says, my idol has done them, meaning that they're referring to Jesus and these other idols that they think have power. So, this is the work of Jesus. This is the work of my ancestors. Nah, man, this ain't that work. This is the work of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. He has the name. Your power has a name. And in order for you to invoke him, you have to call him upon his rightful name. But this is what they say. It says, mine idol have done them, and my graven image and my molten image have commanded them. What more do I got to say after that? The Lord said it. What more do I got to say? Like you said, you worship false images. You worship gods that don't exist. You worship devils. You worship evil spirits. None of these things have the power to deliver you, but you still believe in them. I'm not understanding that. Like that old lady said, she worshiped Jesus Christ. She said, my idol, that's what they're saying. My idol have done this. The Lord didn't do it. My idol did it. And it was the same back then. It's the same now. So it says, thou hast heard and see all this and will not declare it. You got a lot of balls to do that, man. You're brave to do that. You're brave to see all the proofs that the Lord is showing you, and for you to say that it's not happening, and it's all in your face. It's all in your face, man. It's just it's crazy, man, for our brothers and sisters to still denounce the Lord after all the proof that they're getting. And the Lord is angry at that. He's angry, and he's going to hold them to that. It says It says, thou hast heard, see all this, and will not declare it. You won't admit that it was true. It says, I have showed these new things from this time, from now, and hidden things, and thou didst not know them. So, stuff like the Decalogue stone, the Lost Lunar stone, the Paleo Hebrew, Russia's icons being all black people, Yahweh Shai's portraits being locked up in the vault inside Russia, or you got the artifacts that's being hidden inside the Vatican. All of those are the hidden proofs that he's talking about. Like, what more proof did you need? The only difference is that one of these people stepped up and showed the proof. Putin showed all of the black treasures and all of that, and all the black portraits. He showed all that. But the Vatican, they still kind of hold on to them sacred artifacts, and they don't want to show you that. So it says, they are created now and not from the beginning, even before the day when thou heardest them not, lest thou should say, behold, I knew them. It says, Ye thou heardest not, ye thou knowest not. Yeah, from that time that thine ear was not open, for I knew that thou wouldest deal very treacherously, and wouldst call a transgressor from the womb. Yep. It says, for my name's sake, meaning that you were meant to not believe. So it says, for my name's sake, I will defer mine anger, and for my praise I will refrain thee, that I cut thee not off. It says, behold, I have refined thee, but not with silver. I have chosen thee in the furnace of affliction. So through our suffering, the chosen people is going to come out. The people that believe, and the people that went through all the tribulations and that went through all the struggle and still believed and still held fast to, the name, and believed in the power, them the ones that's going to come out. And he said, I put you through the suffering on purpose. What more do you need? So when people be like, where's the Lord when we was in our slavery? No, he put us through that. That's the furnace of affliction. That's the furnace of struggling. And it's for us to become stronger out of that. And that's what's happening. So I hope you guys enjoyed the introduction. I'm going to have another one next weekend, and probably put out a video this week. I'm not fast and hard as a nail like all of them, but I just want to spread the truth, spread the word, stand belief, and keep me sane. And I hope for the people that listen to my new channel and my new platform, I hope you believe too, and just listen. It's like a voice commentary. You don't have to see my face all day. And sometimes I might do some videos, some little entertaining videos to the limits and the laws of YouTube, and not go crazy and stuff. Hopefully they don't, ban this, but hopefully it do reach you guys, and I'm moving on with my day, and it's on to the next episode. Shalom, much love to whoever listens. Well, among my people, that is. White people, they can listen if they want to. At least you know the truth.